Oh. Hello again! This week I'm going to show you how I use socks to achieve a soft, romantic, heatless curl. Now, there are a lot of benefits to using sock curls. They are super fast, it's pretty easy to do, and you probably have all of the stuff necessary in your home right now. For me, these waves are very reminiscent of a fantasy genre or a really soft vintage wave. It's a little bit more natural and very workable no matter what style you're into. To do sock curls, you'll need, of course, socks. I use about 6 when doing my hair, 3 on each side of my head, and you'll need the same number of hair ties as socks that you're using. A good tip if you are looking for what socks to use is using either socks that aren't very comfortable that you've never really worn anyway, using the remaining sock of a lost pair that you just cannot find the other one to, or of course you can go and buy a separate set of socks just for this purpose. Of course, make sure the socks you're using are clean. Just don't take them out of the washing basket. The socks that I use for this, I don't keep in my normal rotation of socks at all anymore. They are specifically for my hair and they live in the bag with all of my other curlers. For my length of hair, a sock about this long is pretty good, but when my hair used to be down to my waist, I would have to use knee socks. So just keep that in mind when looking through your sock collection if you want to do this yourself. All right, and let's get started. So first off, I section my hair into my 6 sections and I tie them all off so they're all sort of set and ready to go. I generally like to make my front sections a little thinner than the back, just so I have a bit of a tighter wave. So we're all sectioned off, and now is the point where you're going to want to grab your setting hold of choice. Today I'm going to be doing a wet set, which I've actually never done with these sock curls before, so let's hope it goes well. I don't know why it wouldn't, but I can't really afford another fail after last week. But honestly, ever since my wet set versus foam set video, I've been leaning on the wet set a lot more, but you can of course easily use a foaming wrap lotion, a different setting spray. I've definitely used this with a foam lotion many a times. All right, so we're going to start with the front sections and we're going to take out our hair tie and put it around our wrist, ready to go. Gonna give that a spritz with the water or whatever setting spray you're going to do. And you're going to split it down the middle. It doesn't have to be super exact or anything. All right. Now you're going to take a sock and put it in the middle of your 2 pieces. It's a little bit fiddly with you having to hold it while doing it, but it gets easier, I promise. Here, I'm actually gonna explain it first. So you're going to take your sock and basically you're gonna have your 2 pieces of hair on either side of the sock. So for the front piece, you're going to go back to front, and the back piece, you're going to bring it front to back. And you're going to continue that spiral all the way down the sock. Now let's give it a try. First one's always the hardest, and then the sock sort of stays in place a bit more. And then once you get to the end, sort of wrap it around as much as you can and then secure it with your hair tie. And we've got one done. Now, one thing I will say to keep in mind is make sure you are spiraling your hair around the sock, which is in the middle. It can be really easy to sort of go into muscle memory and start braiding it with the sock instead. You can see here the sock is very much in the middle and the hair is spiraled around it. That's how you're going to get those really nice spiral waves. If you braid it, you'll just get the same effect as if you had braided your hair, which is fine, but it's not those nice rounded curls. It's more of a crimped wave. All right, let's work around the rest of our hair.
I can see the man that made me what I am today. He has made me weak.
Now, I like to use the same socks for sections of the hair just because you're sort of guaranteed a more even, symmetrical curl. But if you just have a bunch of blown spare socks, use them. I've never really noticed a huge difference when I've used just like random pairs anyway.
Took me from my home and left me all alone. Left my mother standing in the door.
So this is why I love using these sock curls. You have 6 pieces and you are done and set for the evening. You might notice my bangs. What do I do with them? You can of course just let them be if you want to work them into the rest of your hair being a soft wave, but I will put them in foam rollers just so they get that little bit of bounce. You don't use like mini, ankle socks or anything. Now I give my hair one final spritz with water when I'm doing a wet set. And we are set for the evening. Now, unlike when I use pillow rollers or sponge rollers, I do not cover these at night. I find it's much more comfortable to sleep if they're just able to shift along with my head when they're, all pulled back into my little jersey tube. For one, I look a bit like Alien, and 2, the way it holds it really puts a lot of pressure on different points of your scalp. So I'm gonna let them sort of dangle loose throughout the night. All right, see you tomorrow. Good morning. It is the next day, so let's start taking out these socks. There's no special way I really like to undo it. I sort of just pull it out the middle. Oh. Well, my bangs really have 2 different worlds going on here. But for the rest, you can see these lovely, lovely spirals that the socks make. And as far as breaking them up, I don't really like to brush them because they're already pretty loose waves. I just like to break them up with my fingers. Now let's try to fix these bangs. I'll use a bit of water to try to relax this side a little bit. And pretty much there you have it. It's why I love sock curls. It's easy to put in, easy to take out, and when you take it out, you just gotta break it up with your fingers and you have a beautiful, romantic, soft wave. And because these waves always make me feel like I'm in a fantasy world, I'm gonna go just that little bit further and add one of my favorite fairy crowns. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate if you could like it. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe. I upload new videos every Friday. I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!